Catastrophe approaches, and our only hope for survival, a comic book look.
It's your boys in IMJ, we shut it down, man. A comic book look, invading your town. Keep it comics, and let the beer flow. We so global, since our premiere show. Riverdale Studios on fire, we don't know where to park. Technology and booze, it's like we're rolling out like Tony Stark. Skylar, Tom, and John, we the bestest. Swag so villainous, so please arrest us.
This was my first digital purchase.
Alright.
Uncanny X-Men very first issue ever.
Oh, very nice, yeah.
And I figure I'll never get my hands on one that's in readable condition because I always put them in those plastic things and charge you hundreds of bucks, which is so stupid.
Yeah.
If you can't read it, hundreds, thousands. But I haven't even read it yet, but the artwork looks pretty sick. And so I'm saving it for when I'm like on a plane or something so I can check it out. They were on sale for $1 an issue, but I missed that, so it was $2 instead. And I'm like, I think I can spend $2 for X-Men number 1. Right.
So, to touch back on that, some of the sales, Marvel has 99-cent sales every Monday, every Friday.
Okay.
Of like 60 comics.
I didn't even know there was a method to that.
Yeah, every Monday, every Friday, they're 99-cent sales. That cheap, figured it out. They have a whole page of free. I think they got at least 20 on there for their frees.
Okay.
So I have to say that it's been real easy to fill up my memory with a bunch of these.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, you jump in, you get a whole bunch. Was it The Legend of Luther Strode? Was that the first one?
Yeah.
Tom talked about it. It came on sale. Bam! I bought it. Chew, huge sale. Tom had talked about it. Bam!
Bought it. Yeah.
So, and that's why Skylar has never watched it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because he's a computer. I know. So you notice Skylar and Skynet are awfully close. Skylar is actually what's going to take over the world at the end.
If Skylar takes over the world, we're in some big procrastinating trouble.
Yeah. There's been only a couple issues with the digital downloads. Like I mentioned, if you go into a Wi-Fi spot to download, you're stuck on however much bandwidth they give you for the download.
Okay.
I accidentally downloaded, I needed to buy Invincible, like the first trade of it online.
Okay.
And then I did it in a restaurant. It took me almost the whole hour of my meal.
Ooh.
So that's a big deal.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're at home,
you're just like,
yeah, exactly. I keep checking on it,
just
checking, watch the bar. Yeah.
Nurse that water. Oh no.
So that's been a minor issue, but no, there's been so much that I bought on recommendations on something I remembered either you or Tom talked about that I then ended up buying on a sale. Getting a whole lot. Newest one now is Lock and Key.
Okay.
I'm just starting to eat it up now. It's every paycheck. I have to get the next series, and I've enjoyed that, and I think that's been great. The other one was I bought one trade of Frankenstein.
Okay.
That then I ended up.
Loves that.
Yeah, that Frankenstein Agent of Shade I bought because I think the Great Legend had talked about it.
Mm-hmm.
And now I went through and I found, 7 Soldiers Frankenstein from 2006. Grant Morrison and Doug Mankey. And it was, I already kind of knew the character, but it was beautiful artwork, retelling of the story. Really enjoyed it. So
nice. Went
crazy for that one. That one I think, I guess I would have gave a 6 out of 6 for, man. So.
Good work.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you with all these notes everywhere.
Yeah.
Doing your homework.
Yeah, I try.
Getting academic here in a comic book look. It's nothing new.
Yeah. But I got to say, it's easy. It's too easy. Too easy to buy. Yeah. Too ezy to, it's...
But you enjoy them, right?
Invisible numbers that are all out there until you see your bank account.
Yeah, exactly.
But then, because I mean, it's... Marvel, I got like 7 gigabytes of information. And so, it's just, I know, I could see, it tells me on my iPad how much of the stuff I'm eating up, So then I'm getting more selective, kicking out free ones, like, need to make some room. I've been enjoying it. I liked it. But then there's still a couple companies that aren't online yet.
Yeah, exactly.
And I haven't gotten on to buying some of your people that you've interviewed.
Okay.
I thought that's been great that you interview these new people.
Yeah.
They're putting the digital format out there.
Yeah.
And
That's why I always ask them. I'm like, or there's some that do only digital, which is just fine too. Like I'm always on the go, so I dig that. And yeah, no, it's a good crowd.
Yeah. So I mean, that's the next thing for me is to buy just these independent people that are not on my iTunes.
Yeah.
So.
I still can't get over that package I got from Alan Lunder, earlier this month. That was crazy cool. He was just like, "Here's the whole story in advance." I'm like, "What?" That's awesome. That was cool. Yeah. I need to do more of those. I got one right now that I need to definitely finish up. It was a good interview. You guys will enjoy it. Anyways.
So that's digital for me. Don't have boxes to carry. Got my little pad.
Yeah.
Can bring and show. Can't share.
Right.
That's the only issue. Like I said, I was like, oh, you want to read this one? Yeah. If you got some time, you can read mine. But, I think that's the next thing they need to look at doing. Would be some kind of shared idea.
Yeah.
I guess that leads into how do I feel about my local comic book shop.
You like it just as much as I do.
I do. I do. But that makes me feel am I screwing them?
I'm not going to comment.
I know, and that's the problem. That's the problem I have. Well, I didn't really buy that many issues before, so I wasn't like the colossal. I go in there and I buy some trades from them.
Right.
I really enjoyed
and
that.
you're still doing that.
Yep.
On enough, so.
Yep. But it touches on like when you go to a store only during their sales.
Yeah.
I hope that I'm still helping them out enough that they need me.
But that's what a lot of people are. A lot of readers are. They're the Christmas and Easter readers.
Yeah.
The free comic book day and then the whatever the other one, Black Friday.
Yeah.
Or whatever. And a lot of people do that, and it's not a cheap thing.
No.
I put in a lot of extra hours, for overtime just so I can stay on top of bills and everything else. But basically, it's working comics. This is what I enjoy, and so it is what it is. And so I wouldn't feel bad about it at all. You're staying in touch with them; they know who you are.
Yeah.
So that's a good sign.
Weird guy in the uniform that comes in and buys every so often. Yeah, I stand out. But I guess, the other things I look at is I buy figurines. I buy some of that kind of stuff. Thor's my big guy, even though I'm not currently following the current issue of him.
Yeah.
Because I'm dragging my feet, once again, waiting for a trade, I'm sure. But I might just end up going back and just purchasing a bunch of the issues all at once.
Right, but they just started it again, too.
Yeah.
So maybe a trade's in the works, I'd imagine.
I would hope so.
Yeah. Thor, that's Cursive Man's realm. Yeah.
All right.
I'm online. He's a good guy. He's everything Thor, dude. He's so awesome. The Bearded Wonder. Yes.
Yeah, I like him in Captain America because they keep retelling, even during the story. It's like, we told you it was this way, but in truth, this is what it was. They can keep doing that. They can keep spinning or telling you that you were only told a rumor, a myth, and here's the true story. And so they keep changing it. I like that. I mean, they keep reinventing the character, sharpening them that way.
Yeah.
So. But what about you? So how do you determine what you get digitally and what you get?
I got super excited when I got my iPad. I'll be honest with you, I don't use mine nearly as much because again I'm at work or I'm at home. So how does that fit into my routine? It really doesn't because I got my computer at home and then I have my phone. When I travel on the plane, I haven't done a lot of plane traveling yet ever since I've gotten this, but I am excited to start using it. And then also maybe just bringing this with me instead of my computer, when I go to some of these cons coming up, just to have this on me. I'm not going to, whip this out and take pictures with it, though. They were talking about that on some news show at work yesterday, about how it looks like you're holding up a lunch tray.
I
I
can see that, yeah.
So it's just like, okay. But I bought the Uncanny X-Men #1, from way back in the day on there. I'll probably start, I've been thinking about some of the titles I've cut and some that are going to be cut coming up, what I don't like, and maybe getting them digitally once they're on sale.
Yeah.
That kind of thing, because it's something I can wait on. I completely agree with you. I haven't even set up my second folding table yet, and I have 2 empty white boxes waiting to be filled. And where are the comics? They're on my computer desk.
Yeah.
They're on my kitchen counter.
Yeah.
They are in the nerd room on top of the other white boxes. It's not pretty, right? That's why you're not over there.
All right, yeah.
So it's just, place is a wreck, but I am going to try to get it all sorted out. But complete agreement with you, so I am trying to split and utilize the digital front for some of them too. So
I like how they are starting to do a couple where if you buy,
you can get it digitally too.
Yeah, you can get the digital version if you buy the hard issue. So
yeah, I'd probably give that to somebody else.
All right.
Personally, because what's the point for me?
Yeah.
Why am I taking space in two fronts?
Yeah.
Unless it's a good issue.
Yeah.
What issue was? I mean, there's no issue. I can't name an issue. I just, oh man, I haven't read it today yet. My day's not complete.
Yeah.
Like, I'll reread a certain story arc when I get interested in the characters again, but nah. I mean, do you have a book like that? Or?
In fact, my wife is a little upset. Next to our bed stand, there is the entire stack of all my trades of the Ultimates.
Okay.
So it's about a foot high.
Yeah.
And so I'll read my issue Ultimate and I put it down. So I got one pile that's growing that I've read, one that and she's like, I thought you read that one already. I said, yeah, several times.
Just, get familiar with it again.
Yeah, no, and I've enjoyed them. Yeah. I don't get tired. I don't, read novels like I used to.
Yeah. Which I totally, I miss that.
Yeah.
Because I miss like a good Star Wars book or whatever. You can get lost in those. Time flies. Yeah. Oh man, it's time to go to bed. I don't want it. Okay, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
And then you'll fall asleep anyways eventually. But yeah, I miss that. I kind of want to get back into that a little bit. I think comics have kind of taken that a little bit away from me just because I'm used to the pictures and quickness of it.
Yeah.
I love trades though compared to single issues,
Yes.
which is ironic. So I think that I should probably try to read some.
Yeah, no, I have one bookshelf in our library at home that it's her books of history, and then my comics in the corner.
There you go.
With my comic guys, figurines all stacked up there, and yeah, good to go.
Did you see me get called out on that IMJ post about that Venom?
Yes,
the
the statue.
Paging John Runyon.
Yeah, I just checked that this morning. I saw that. Because I think I said it, and then I scrolled down just far enough to see that.
Yeah, I was like, that's so awesome.
And it's so true.
It is. I was just like,
good price.
If I had $205 lying around,
yeah.
I totally would. I don't, so I'm not going to. But so I got Comic Cons to go to. I'd rather dress up as Venom and go shake hands with comic creators.
Yeah. I'll definitely give you guys credit. I never thought of a Comic Con or going to one.
Dude, you totally should.
I've seen, of course, the big one that they showed on G4, San Diego. It had always just looked too big, but then now you're talking Minnesota.
Yeah.
And I saw your guys' thing on that. When you met up with Captain Cummings and Lawrence.
We're doing that in April.
Yeah. My wife's from Kansas. So I mean, I really could see us doing a Lawrence trip, too.
Dude, you totally should.
So, it's just time frames, as you know.
Yeah.
So,
schedules.
Yes.
Real life.
Yep.
Bummer. Oh, you should totally come with us to the Rochester one, dude. The Fables Con.
I read the Fables #1 trade, or the first Fables trade.
Yeah.
Not quite sold in Fables yet.
Okay.
So
it's not just about Fables though. There's a ton of the guy that started Thunderbolts is there.
Okay. Yeah.
Issue #1, way back in the day. I was talking to him. I wanted to do an interview, and he was like, "I'm not feeling so hot right now. Sorry, I'm just being honest." I was like, "That's cool. I'm looking forward to meeting you at the con." He's like, "Totally." I'm like, "Hopefully, I sign my issues." So I'm gonna bring #1 through 5 with me.
And that's before or after you get kicked out?
I'm gonna get kicked out probably right at the door.
Yeah. Make sure you guys watch John's Beef episode if you haven't.
You weren't there though. I mean, seriously.
No, I wasn't.
And I'm not saying anything bad about him. I'm just telling you what happened. I was bummed. I was looking forward to meeting him.
When you're trying to drag other people to this FableCon, if you get kicked out, then maybe they'll go with you.
Oh, no.
This is ridiculous. Do you know who a comic book look is? Mass protest as 5 of us walk away, except for Tom.
Yeah, Tom won't.
Tom just ignores us.
Tom said he would leave me hanging, so I'm totally driving separate.
All right. Good call, Tom. Good call.
Anyways, picking on John Day. So anyways, so if you guys have any thoughts on, the digital versus print, give us a holler. If there's any other websites or web services out there, discounts or whatever else you guys got up your sleeve out there. I know everybody does things a little bit differently. Shoot those suggestions our way, post on IMJ. But relax, we're not done with the episode yet. We still got a ton of stuff to talk about. You mind if I breeze through some
dig through. You're the one that who spends all the money on those issues.
Oh, retail kill. Okay.
No,
Man,
I'm just saying.
playing.
Cheap guy, way behind.
Alright. Todd the Ugliest Kid, Image. This is issue number 2. The guys at the comic shop just had this in my box in the back, and they're like, "Here you go. We saw you got the first one." This series is definitely dark, and Locust Moore just loves it. It's such a eclectic book that's why I'm drawn to it a little bit. It's not something that I would have picked off the shelf without knowing about it first. So I'm glad that the recommendation was made. That one I would probably I'd give it a 4 out of 6. Up next, I did the no-no, and I have Uncanny X-Men #1 and the baby variant cover by Scotty Young. So I got the baby variant because I just thought Magneto looked so cranky on there that it was just awesomely funny to me, and it was fun. The book as a whole here, the art style was just all over the place, which I was warned about to be expecting that. Not the end of the world, however. Who's it, Chris Riccello? Yeah. He was getting. We were having a discussion about this and at the shop, and they were just saying it's all over the place. You either like it or you don't. I didn't mind it. The problem with this for me is that my best friend Cyclops is in it. Bottom line, right?
All right. What was the thing that turned you off to Cyclops? I guess maybe I haven't seen all the episodes, but
that's okay. Cyclops for me is just kind of like a neutered poodle about the Jean Grey thing. Starting with he doesn't you're the leader of the X-Men and whatever, but even in the 90s cartoon, it was just cry, 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 cry. It kind of a Sally Sad Sacks. I wasn't digging it. In the books here, for the Phoenix 5, that was just outrageously bad.
Right.
Costumes and all, but just even the way he acted like such a blowhole. So that's his character, and if that's what Marvel wants for one of the original founding members of one of their awesomest teams ever, fine, sail the ship. I'm not on board with it, and as a character, I just don't rock with him.
What about his character in X Factor? X-Force. Where he sets up X-Force being a strike team, that he screws them when he has to send them back through time, basically potentially sacrificing people's lives, ruining maybe X-23's only chance of recovery by putting her into the team.
Yeah.
What about that? I mean, he was kind of a cruel dick during those times.
He was. Still though, it's falsely driven. It's
Alright.
I don't know, man.
I liked him better there because I guess I don't.
Because he showed balls, right?
Yeah.
Because you don't see him that much, right?
Yep.
That's what I like about him.
All right. Then I guess.
I'm just saying, yeah.
Last question is he manipulated by Emma or is he his own man?
I think that Emma is manipulated by him. I think that Scott is. He's just not worth it. Emma could do so much better, I don't even play for her team, and I'd go shopping with her. Whatever,
But you don't think she's controlling Scott?
No.
That's what I was asking, because that was the big worry.
Yeah.
At the end of the whole, them bringing up the island and moving off during the Utopia phase.
Yeah, exactly. Because they're actually tense right now with all that Phoenix 5 stuff. How he basically betrayed her and stuff, and it just I don't know. As a whole, it's a lot of hoo-ha. I only got it because it's Uncanny. This is one of my flagship titles. Yeah. Regrettably, this is the third time I've had to rise to this team now for an issue #1. Or second time, but we've been reviewing Uncanny since we started the show, and it's just really annoying that we have to keep rebooting this stupid thing. Right. It's starting to lose its appeal.
Yeah, I'm not following any of the X-Men.
Yeah.
What do you think of Magneto's helmet?
Cool.
All right.
He actually plays a very cool role in here. He's actually trying to underthrow Cyclops there, pull the rug out from beneath him. So it's good to see some villainy back in the book because we need it. So thank you.
He's the Starscream to Cyclops' Megatron.
He is. Just less whiny.
Right. I like the mask. It was a throwback to what he did in the Ultimates.
Yeah.
And
the extreme arches.
Yeah. Yeah. I like it. It's a little creepier. So I'd like to hopefully see that in the next movie. So.
I tried out something new here. I jumped off of Birds of Prey, but Katana was one of the Birds of Prey. This is issue number 1. I was not happy to see from the pages of Justice League of America because, again, it's just like, how many stupid Justice League books can we have? This book was actually kind of fun. She's on her own, striking out, being awesome. I'm gonna give this one a 3 strikes you're out rule, so I'll pick up issues 2 and 3. But if it sucks, I'm done. So. I'd give it right now, I'd probably give it a 3 out of 6 years on that. Uncanny, probably also a 3 out of 6. Scarlet Spider, keep this one quick. Issue 14, cool cover, 2 out of 6. Batman 17, Joker. This is a very revealing issue on so many fronts. There's a scene where all the other Bat people are at the table tied up, and their faces are on ice in front of them on the table.
Alright.
So Joker plays ball. Turns out he's actually lying. He didn't peel their faces off. It was all simulated, but they were all bandaged up and it looked bloody and stuff, so Bruce Wayne's trying not to freak out or whatever. Very grotesque issue. It ends, of course, unresolved. Joker pretty much disappears into the depths of the cave. This obviously is getting a 6 out of 6 for me for the creepy factor alone. I mean, just that scene of, oh, let's see what's for dinner, and he lifts up the silver things. Alfred's all doped up on laughing gas, and their faces there on the ice. I was like, oh, wow, I've never really seen a book push it that far, I don't think. So this is definitely a new first and a good first. But get rid of that dumb Arrow banner, for Pete's sake.
Yeah. So now, then, the answer is Joker knows who each and every one of their secret identities are.
I would assume so,
Because
I didn't get the
all their
crossovers.
faces.
I don't know how he got them all.
Yeah.
I didn't read any of those. So.
But to make like a fake face for everyone.
Well, it was with a mask, though.
Yeah.
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 So it was just like, I don't know. Let's see if I can find it. Because it was just...
I know that was the big question was,
Yeah.
does Joker know their secret identities or not? So.
Yeah. Oh, before that. It was, just the reveal on it was just so crazy, dude. It was, on that heart there.
Oh, yes. Yep.
So it pushes a tick a little bit.
I haven't read the series. I'm hoping to pick it up in trade.
Do it.
Of course, I'm still waiting also to pick up the trade. I think it's the first couple issues of Batman is the Court of Owls. Is that right?
Yeah.
So.
Good stuff. Good stuff. Wolverine the X-Men, last but not least. I give it a 4 out of 6. Fun title. That takes the kids to the Savage Land on a field trip. Just more of the young character hoo-ha and mischief. So it's fun. It's comical and it's just downright neat. So I definitely am on board with those. So that is the extent of my stack. I also got Star Wars number 2, but I haven't read it yet. So, but doing my best.
Yeah.
So I got single issues, and you prefer trades. You have some of them with you. What's going on?
Yeah. With my trades recently, of course, Justice League Dark. Wanted to try that out. Thought it was an interesting concept. Didn't really know any of the characters. Knew Constantine from the film.
Yeah.
Knew a little bit of Deadman from a couple stray issues here or there that I might have picked up about DC. Of course, Zatanna, of course, from Tom, telling over and over again his love for her. It was good. It was interesting. It was probably a 4 out of 6. You know, it was good. Beautiful art. So
cool.
Trying to extend out a little bit more. So I was, I guess I was heavier Marvel than DC, but as you can see, got DC, Frankenstein, Agent of Shade. Got this one when the Great Legend did a couple, bits about different ones on this. Wasn't sold on the art originally. I learned to enjoy it. I mean, it's always tough when you see certain art on covers that are just amazing, and
if you open it up and you're like,
why? The art originally felt a little older, but it was enough that I did like the art. It grew on me. It got me to understand what they were going for. I would say it's definitely, I think originally I was looking at a 5 out of 6. I might even say 6 out of 6.
Okay.
I think each time, and I'm sure as I'll reread it over and over again, and I think I'll appreciate it more every time. It was definitely enough that I ended up buying some issues online of Frankenstein, Seven Soldiers. So I would have to say I think it's definitely going to end up being a six. Hack Slash.
Ooh, that's a big one too.
Yeah, it's the #1 omnibus. I think they had like 5 in the store. It's different artists, so the style keeps changing over and over again. Young me, before a comic book look, would not have done it. It would have been like, I like a certain style. I don't think if all of a sudden I spun it and it looks like Scott Pilgrim, I'm not going to read it. I start reading it now. I appreciate it more. So yeah, there's definitely different artists, different writers. It ties in. It's, of course, the only thing my wife had to say about it was, what kind of book is this with this half-naked young lady on there?
Yeah.
But it is. It's the PG movie. It's the get you right up to the point of almost seeing a naked girl and stopping. So, I mean, it's funny and tastefully done.
Yeah.
There's cameos of Chucky, the doll, in here and they mention him. There's Evil Ernie from a different series.
Oh, nice.
And it's just good. It's telling about these two characters, Cassidy and can't remember what her gentleman's name is that is in there. Cassidy Hack is the girl, and Vlad is the large creature-like thing, and they are after all those slashers from the movies that people go psycho, and then they get magical abilities, so they keep coming back from the dead until they come and take care of them.
Okay.
But, like they go to a lake, and you see 2 people that are just about ready to make out, and a guy coming out of the water to kill them, and they stop the guy from killing him. It is interesting. It's semi-lighthearted.
Yeah.
It's not overly sexualized, and it's interesting in that way. That I've enjoyed it. I definitely think it's a 6 out of 6. I want to buy the rest of them. I'm doing Lock and Key online. That one has made me crazy sick. It's every time I finish one, I just can't wait for the next payday. I gotta buy the next one.
Mm-hmm.
Lock and Key is driving me crazy. I want to understand the story. I want it solved. I love it. Great artwork. It's amazing.
Yeah.
And I think I just heard that it wrapped up just this last year, I think. So.
Mm-hmm. With that, I read some of Tom's beginning trades on that, and that was really cool to get to do. And I know that it's still ongoing in terms of other ones out there. Sorry, not ongoing, but that there's more out there that I need to read yet. So I do need to get my hands on those.
Yeah, and they also put out like 1 or 2 other little minor issues, like just a separate issue that explains a whole lot more. Like, you had all these questions, here's an extra issue for those people that are diehard. Mm-hmm. I'm like, well, I got to get those then too.
Yeah.
I mean, it definitely 6 out of 6 kind of series. So.
Absolutely.
And
well, let's talk about this.
All right.
This is awesome. This is something that I think is super neat. Mike's going to talk to us about it. What do you got?
The Action Bible. It's the Bible in cartoon format. So, as you can see, it's beautifully drawn. It's the stories of the Bible. My wife got it for me at Christmas
awesome.
2 years ago, and it's helped me out with the Old Testament stuff where it's he begat this guy and this one, and then there's these people, all similar names.
Yeah.
I mean, like David and Goliath, So I really enjoyed it. I have recently embraced my faith again. Okay. So it has helped me enjoy some stories, talk with some people about it. It gives me one more way to enjoy comics. I think it's amazing that this company did this. It's 200 pages of this wonderful artwork, and one of the greatest books ever. So.
And yeah, with that, it's funny too, because I know that you do, like you'll do the Bible studies and stuff like that. So this kind of helps you out when you're able to kind of put a name to a face, kind of thing. You make it visual. Because I definitely would be interested in reading that too, just because that's awesome that they took the time to do that. So and I definitely, I think that would definitely be worth checking out for anyone, really, because it's so hard to get into a book like that.
Yeah, it is.
First of all,
Yeah.
it's it's really not that terrible. I actually read a little bit, growing up, just out of curiosity. I would just sit there and read whole books
Yeah.
of it, and stuff like that. But it's much easier when you have a name to put to a face on there. This isn't
Yep.
people in underwear saving the world necessarily, but it's just kind of cool to get to see the portrayal of that time. They capture details, from the Bible itself.
Yeah, and I mean, if you read the Bible, all the stories aren't really family friendly. I mean, there's a lot of death, there's a lot of slayings, there's infidelities. Nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
It says it lives it.
Yeah. And is this from start to finish then?
No.
Okay.
No, I would say I think there are certain
Right?
stories. I can't say I've gotten to Sodom and Gomorrah yet. But there's depictions of angels destroying cities,
Okay.
and I think one of my favorite stories was a prophet who the kids were chasing after him, and he summons bears to shoo them away. I think actually to kill them, but it's your interpretation on that one. But so it was very enjoyable. I still haven't finished it. It's it is a big read. It's like a lot of any omnibus, which I think is the other thing I had written into you guys one time about is how do you read an omnibus?
Yeah.
And you got to take breaks. You got to read as so long as you're interested. Put it aside. Read your other stuff. Take your breaks. Think about what you're reading.
Yeah.
When I read Walking Dead, I'm not a Bible thumper. I love my Jesus. I love my Bible. But I read Walking Dead, and it would have killed me to read the first 33 issues straight.
Yeah.
There's a lot of them that I buy online omnibuses that would kill me to try and just read straight on. So I think you got to take a break with any of this stuff.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I'd say so. With the smaller books that come out, the smaller trades, Gabe lets me borrow his Walking Dead, and I can do one of those in a day. But omnibus itself, that's a little more,
Because you get to the end and you flip to the next page and you're like, oh, I can't stop. Look what Rick did. So,
yeah.
No, I would
How
say.
you liking the show? Are you rocking that or?
I've been missing out on this season.
Okay.
My wife is not a big fan of zombies.
Gotcha.
So.
Well, she's but you got your foot tall stack of books in the bedroom.
In the bedroom.
You got your portion of the library, which I'm
Yes.
sure is more than generous. So the fact that not everyone's as lucky as you are out there, some of the nerds out there, you gotta keep it a little more quiet, So, that's awesome. Awesome. We just talked about the world.
Yeah. We covered
awesome.
a little bit of everything.
Well, guys, Mike came bearing some gifts here for me, and then also for the guys. I was pretty surprised actually here. Mike works at my alma mater.
Yeah.
I can't talk today, evidently. And when I came in, he was just like, "I got swag for you and stuff," which is super awesome. So I'll let you introduce it.
All right. Well, starting with the hat, I mean, there's only a certain style that John can carry, and so of course, our wonderful school of Augie, I definitely wanted him to have that wonderful hat.
So awesome.
Yeah.
Stretch headband, he's smart, so that way when my hair is long and flowing, it'll still fit.
Yeah.
It's awesome, and it's got the updated Oli logo on it, and honestly, we didn't have this kind of risque merch when I was there. I mean, it was a little more,
school.
you know what I mean? Yeah. So it's every time I go back to campus, it's just like, oh man, it's ancient. And it's only been a few years. Yeah.
And I also had to make sure that I didn't try and measure your head size.
Right.
After reading all those Frankenstein ones, I think you might freak a little bit.
What are you doing? Sharpie lines over my head.
For definitely all of the wonderful guys at a comic book look, I got them water bottles, and so that was from our wonderful campus safety department.
Boom.
Where if you cause trouble, you'll run into me.
So don't piss them off.
Yeah,
like I did when I was in
you
school.
get America's coming.
I don't think I ever got in trouble with you.
No. I think usually just saw you wandering through events and rap concerts.
Yeah.
So, which shout out to Gabe. We also saw you in the paper. Definitely
dude,
keep on doing what
awesome.
you're doing.
He's really excited about that.
Yeah. And since I am not an issue collector, I
Oh.
definitely wanted John to have some issues. Come bearing gifts. That's always my motto.
And boy, did he ever, you guys. This is, nothing
Shiny.
says awesome, and it's perfect for Valentine's Day because it's shiny, got a little bit of pink in there, some canary diamonds on the Sunfire. So.
Yeah.
But honestly, no, I love these covers, and it's funny with this issue in particular because when I was at college, I had this issue hanging up. It was a whole wall of comics on there. It wasn't the shiny version, of course, but beautiful, beautiful issue. I love this storyline so much with just the weirdness of Age of Apocalypse. You know? So no, it was really cool. Mike also knows that I like my what ifs, and so he definitely had some what ifs lying around, and I will definitely rock that. Yay.
Yeah, I'm definitely not a purist at hardly anything. So I mean, the what ifs I think are always best too because it's that storyline that could have happened.
Yeah.
And so that's what I liked.
Yeah. And last but not least here is going to be actually the Black Adam here. Now, this is a character I'm not familiar with. In a little bit of Suicide Squad, we have mention of Black Adam a few times, but I'm like, what's the big deal with this guy? So now I'm going to get my learn on and know,
Yeah, Black Adam is the bad Shazam. He is.
Okay.
He has all the powers of Shazam. He is the.
But he's awesome.
Yeah, but he is kind of awesome. I believe that he was a wizard that somebody who had figured out the power, and so he, the wizard who gave Shazam power had also given him power, and it was kind of the failed, none of the responsibility that I know that John likes in his heroes.
Mm-hmm.
And in this series of Black Adam, it was the 07 years. He's trying to get his dead wife back. This is after he had joined Justice League International, I believe, JLI. And he had a falling out with them, and I guess, I didn't read those issues, and I guess he wiped out a country in the Middle East.
Before the New 52.
Yeah, so this
Okay.
this
I was
was
gonna
07.
say,
This was
the
well
JLI
before.
Limited that I read, I didn't see him in there, but
No.
I stopped after like issue 5.
Yeah. His wife is dead, and he wants her back, so he looks for Ra Al Ghul's Lazarus Pit, and he finds out.
Oh, that's where I threw the Thunderbolts into.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's probably why.
Shout out to the Lazarus Pit.
Why it didn't work.
Tried to make it fresh and new.
Yeah, he ends up. He doesn't. The Shazam and the JLI take his powers away, so he's just. They call him Adam Teth, I believe, or Teth Adam.
Okay.
And he ends up, trying to do all this without his powers. He has to climb the mountain to the Lazarus Pit. He has his follower of people, his little cult, that he has beat him up so that his face is unrecognizable as Black Adam. And he doesn't have his power. They took the word away, so Shazam obviously, Captain Marvel obviously says Shazam.
Okay.
That's always been the problem too. I mean, they call him Shazam, but they also call him Captain Marvel because if he says Shazam, he turns back to Billy. Well, Black Adam has lost his word, and so as he's driving along, he's like road, dog, car. He's trying to find the word that they made magical, and he finally gets to the Lazarus Pit. It doesn't work, and they explain why it doesn't work. He ends up getting into the tower of Dr. Fate, and he runs into Faust there. And Faust is another DC magician who's evil, who Fate has trapped into this tower, and he wants out, so he says, I'll make your woman alive if you do, if you get me out when this is done. He goes, so I'm going to use her energy into you, and you can become Black Adam. If you use up all the energy, she's not going to be around.
Yeah.
So do it sparingly. So he goes back out as a man. Every once in a while he encounters a superhero or a group of people trying to stop him. And he every once in a while has to become Black Adam. And meanwhile he's trying to find the original word. So he's like, book, monkey. And he just, anything he sees he says, trying to trigger it. And it's all about what happens. Does he get his wife back in the end? Does he get the power of Black Adam back? That's how it all
So you're
ties
like
out.
rooting for him.
Yeah.
Weird.
He is definitely an anti-hero. He's definitely,
Awesome.
yeah, and it is.
Yeah.
It's you know, it's that if you love somebody and you can't have them in your life,
Okay.
it tears at you. It's that storyline. It's the loss of power and that he's kind of awesome and he kicks around Hawkman and stuff like that. So, you know, it's all those
My
big
kinda
things.
guy.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. So, I mean, it's yeah, I enjoyed the series a lot. It was definitely a 6 out of 6 beers for me on that one.
Nice.
So,
Well, I didn't come empty-handed either. You have been the most relentless fan, I think, of not only our show, but also Fat Stack. So, the limited edition t-shirt,
All
I
right.
actually made 6.
all right.
And wanted you to have yours.
Awesome. Thank you, sir.
And it's
Yeah.
got you your size and looking fly with us. So you got your hand drawn. I got bored one day and doodled all of the 5 of us on there,
Yeah.
and so figured you'd get a kick out of that.
Yes, definitely. My wife actually loves the comic book look Star Trek one,
Okay.
and that has
The
been
Enterprise, yeah.
been taken from my laundry into
Uh-oh.
her laundry. So I do need another shirt for the circulation.
There you go.
Yep.
That's awesome.
So yeah,
But I figured that you definitely
thank you
have
much.
been rocking both of our shows.
Yeah.
So we definitely
Shout out to Fat Stack.
Fat Stack for sure.
Yep.
Yeah, we're hoping to get together this October for a con out there in Nashville. So
All right.
we'll see how that goes. Gotta plan, but
Yeah.
definitely. Well, we talked a ton of books today.
Yeah.
I'm proud of you.
Alright.
Was this
It
you
was-
okay with everything?
Yeah, definitely excellent
Okay.
with it. So it was definitely good.
Right on.
I'm glad at least I got to get this close to Riverdale Studios. I know this is the addendum wing that I'm way off in, but eventually I'm hoping that Tom blesses me enough to allow me
to make our way into the mess asylum
Yeah.
and submerged.
yeah,
And meet CGI.
to the inner sanctum.
Ugh.
I'm sure I
Yeah.
have to be teleported in like the Justice League. but-
Blindfold yourself.
Yep.
We'll get you there though.
Yep.
Right on. Well, as always, you guys, if you have any feedback, comments you want to ask Mike about the Action Bible, or any of the trades that he talked about, or how the digital stuff is going for him, anything that we didn't cover today, please ask us. Give us a holler. Email a comicbooklook@gmail.com. We're both in the Facebook group, A Comic Book
Yep.
Look, so definitely blow us up there. Other than that,
Thank you to Inveterate Media Junkies. Now I know what comics are coming out. Now I know other
I
people's
love those lists
opinions.
that they do.
Yeah.
Yeah, with the covers too.
Yeah, the reviews, the opinions that you guys have, other things that you bring to the table. I've enjoyed the website, so thank you guys.
Absolutely. Team I'm Jay. Boom.
So I guess I would have to say, until Tommy changes his hair to Justin Bieber style, keep mine a comic book look.
And keep it comics. Boom. Awesome. Well, thank you again, dude.
Yeah.
For doing this.
Skylar's not real. I know.
He's gonna get a kick out of that. Well, we did good.
Yes, indeed. Oh,